Hi YouTube, I'm back again to talk more about my experience of being a targeted individual, and today is December the 7th and it's 2013, and there's so many things that I need to hit on, but I'll probably be saying more of the same of my other videos, and I'm busy trying to see. Y'all gotta excuse me because I keep seeing this glare in my glasses. I'm trying to, let me see, maybe if I put this up some, let me put up my camera a little bit. I might have to take this part out, but yeah, let's see how that goes, like that. I'm trying to get away from the glare of my glasses, because when I take off my glasses, then I don't think I look all that great with my glasses off, and that's just being like any human being, where you care about your appearance and you care about how you present yourself to people. But anyway, I wanted to make this particular video. I'm gonna move this down. I wanted to make this video because these people that have been harassing me and stalking me, they have been hitting me with whatever it is that they hit me with. I don't know if it's microwaves, or it might be a combination of microwaves and other kind of waves and laser beams and stuff, because I can feel it. It feels like a ping, you know, like a ping on my skin. It feels like if you had like a little pebble and you were tossing like a little pebble. That's how it feels sometimes. And then they hit me all in my legs and in my back, particularly in my back. And then when I get up in the morning sometimes, and a lot of times when they hit me real bad, because they've been hitting me real bad over the past couple of weeks, there have been like you know, just like 24 hours a day, like absolutely no letting up whatsoever, just, you know, constantly bombarding me and you know, broadcasting in here a lot. And evidently I said I was going to try to you know, see if I could get some of what they were saying on tape. And evidently one night I had my little trusty little tape recorder, and I got them saying, and you can hear them saying a few things on this tape recording that I took of them. And you know, because a lot of times when you as a TI, when excuse me, when you tell people about your experience, people want something objective. They want something that they can actually see, hear, touch. They don't want you to just tell them about, you know, what's going on and how it's affecting you and stuff. They want to actually to be able to see something, to hear something. And these people that do this, they are so crafty that what they do is they have all of these things where, you know, it would be very difficult for just any old person to have the correct equipment, like to record all of these sounds, or to record the beams as they come into your house. You might could use a like maybe a handheld, something like, I think they call it an EMR, whatever that thing is. It's like, you know, a little handheld little device that you could hold, where you probably could show like a needle, you know, jumping back and forth to say that there is something that is in your home, that is coming in to your home, that does not belong there. But like, how do you show a person, like when they are bombarding you at night while you sleep? How can you show anyone that? You know, unless you had tapes running all night and you were rich enough where you could have equipment that you could put into your home, where you could pick up on all of the sounds and the things and all the hateful things that they broadcast into your home. Because not only do they broadcast it in my ear, they also broadcast in my surroundings. Okay, because I will walk out of one room and go into another room, and I can hear the broadcasting in another room. So like if I'm in here, sometimes if they're broadcasting enough, I can hear it out into another room. If I go out in that room, then I can hear it in here. So, you know, these people, they're like, they're just evil, I mean, with a capital E. You know, all capital letters with evil. That's what they are. because they don't think that there will ever come a day when they will be judged. And this is why they do the things they do, because they think that they themselves are God. And that's what I said in a lot of my videos. And then they come back with this broadcasting, and I was watching TV one night, and they were busy broadcasting, and oh, this and yeah, we're going to assist you, and this is assisted suicide, and we're going to let you do this, and we're going to let you do that, and all this stuff. And this God that you speak of, well, we are the CIA is the new God. This is what they broadcasted in here, okay? This is what they broadcast into my home. And this is all I can tell you is what they broadcast in here. The CIA, that's the new God. We're the new God. And like I said before in other videos, you know, I don't even believe that these people that are doing this are any CIA people. I don't believe they are. And if they are, then they are the corrupt ones. It's as simple as that. They are totally 100% corrupt if they come from that agency, okay? They are corrupt. But you got like a whole lot of street hoodlums. You know, these guys that, you know, they're tough guys. They want to be tough, and they want to walk around with their, you know, chest puffed out and beat on their chest and say, oh, look, this is all what we can do. But my question is, why do you all what we can do? Why do you want to do that all that you can do to me? That's my question. And I don't never get no broadcasting answer. You know, it's just like a whole bunch of garbled sugar honey iced tea. Like they will just be going and going and going, and you know, trying to tell me, oh, they know what my thoughts are and this, that, and I'm like, okay, well, if you know what my thoughts is, then how come I rope-a-dope you so much? You should be able to know if I'm a pull a rope-a-dope. You should be able to see that, because I already know before. Sometimes it's days before I'm pulling a rope-a-dope. I don't just do it right then and there, because I think about it beforehand. So that means that they should know, because according to them, they say they can read minds. So how come is it that I can rope-a-dope? How come guys that are doing this, how come I can rope-a-dope you? And I pulled a double rope-a-dope. Like a week or so ago, I pulled a double rope-a-dope on them. And I have the video to prove it. Because every time I get on a bus or a trolley, they jam-pack and load up these trolleys with all these low-life criminals and these, you know, people who they have to come out and stalk you. That's what they do. They put them all at the bus stop, and you see them all, and they come out there, and they got backpacks, and you know they ain't going to no school. Number one, they ain't got no job. Number two, they not going to school. Number three, they ain't doing anything with their lives. This is their life. This is what they do. And they feel very empowered, because the people who do the organizing of this gang stalking, they empower these people to make them believe, okay, you're doing something great for your community, for your country, and you know, you should be you know, amended for this or whatever, you know. And like, oh, we just think this, and they don't think none of them people. They don't think none of them people, the people that do this, the actual foot, I call them foot soldiers. That's what I call them. They do the foot patrol, and they follow you around, and you see them on the streets, and they on their cell phone and stuff, and they acting like they James Bond or something like that. I'm like, well, why don't y'all be the real thing? What's the holdup? Why don't you be the real thing? Because those real people that are doing those types of jobs, they ain't on no street corner. Okay? They not on the street corner with a cheap $5 cell phone. They in some plush office somewhere sitting around and doing what they do. They ain't on no street corner and trying to act like they so great, like they, you know, I'm an informant. Because that's what they do. That's what they tell these fools. They tell them, oh yeah, well, we're gonna knight you and brand you an informant. And I'm like, how stupid can you get? An informant for what? What you informing anybody of? Not a thing. All you doing is standing on the street corner, and this goes out to the gang stalkers. All you doing is you standing on a street corner, and somebody is giving you and telling you what to do. They giving you orders on your cell phone that they paid for, because I know you ain't got no money and you didn't buy that cell phone yourself. Okay, this goes out to the gang stalkers, the actual foot soldiers that are on the street, that come on these buses, and they sit on buses, and they talk trash on buses, and they walking around, and they doing this and they doing that. Y'all ain't nothing. They don't think nothing of y'all. They think y'all are stupid. That's why they have y'all doing what they did, what you do. Okay, And then they tell them, oh yeah, well, you're an informant, and so on and so forth. You know, they give them this big classified name. You're an informant. You ain't no informant. What you informing about? You ain't informing about nothing, because they watching you more than they watching the person that you watching. Okay? Because most of those people is criminals, and they know that they're criminals. So they watch them, and then they be doing all kinds of stuff on the side, like the ones that are, you know, that are really criminals, and they doing all stuff because they know, well, I'm an informant. I'm a big bad informant, so I can deal my drugs while I do my informant at the same time. And they're so ignorant. They're just so dumb. You know, these people that do this gang stalking, they just are just like unbelievably ignorant. But you know, that's what you get when you get people that come together to do this type of stuff. That's what you get. I mean, it's just like it's steeped in ignorance, total ignorance. Excuse me. But what I wanted to talk about was one time when I was going to this office, and there was this guy there, and I knew that he was probably a part of it. I knew he was. They probably put him in that office to you know, to get, you know, my attention or something like that, because they must have told him, oh yeah, well, she likes guys that look like you, and so on and so forth, and blah blah, this blah 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 blah. And I'm like thinking, you know, this fool, he comes out there thinking he was so damn cute. But let me tell you something about him. Guess what? I seen him on Craigslist. He's on Craigslist with no damn clothes on. How about that? He is on Craigslist. Okay? So that tells you everything you need to know. When they recruit these people, even the people that they recruit for these agencies, these people are total perverts. They like 100% perverts. Because I knew immediately as he came out there, and then he called me by the wrong name. He didn't even call me by my right name. He called me by some, you know, some name. I don't know who name that was. And immediately it just hit like that. You know, because this is what they do. They place people anywhere you go. So like if you go to a doctor's office, or you go anywhere, to a dentist or anywhere, they place their people there. And you know, they get them, you know, because I guess they run the gamut. You know, they can be whatever. They can be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, or anything. And then that's what they do. They place their people wherever you are, you know, like the spy on you and stuff like that. And then if they think you like a certain type of dude, then they will try to place that certain type of dude where you go, because they thinking now you're gonna be looking at the dude and you're gonna be sweating him and this, that, and the other. But the only thing I want to say is, and he know, because he probably gonna watch this video, guess what? You was on Craigslist with your clothes off. How's about that? And that ring you had on was fake, because I know your ass ain't married. This is one of my little rant videos. a little rant video. I had to get on there and say that, because they've been hitting me so hard with you know, with these, whatever it is that they're using, microwave pulses or whatever it is that they use, that the other day when I got up and I had an appointment, my eyes were like, I mean, totally protruding. They were like really big like that, and my hands were like shaking and stuff, you know, because this is what they do. I put it in my video. This is what they do when they hit you with whatever laser beams or whatever it is that they use to hit you. They just like totally destroy your whole body from the inside out, you know. And this is the serious part of this video. When they do this to people, I don't know if they realize what it is that they do to people, or even if they care. They probably don't care. They probably know what they're doing and they don't care, because they're evil. You know, they're evil. These people are on the fringes of society who do this kind of stuff. I don't care what agency they work for, because you are human and you are who you are first, before you are what job you do and where you are in life. You are a human and you are you before you are any of those things. So they try to come off as though they're so, you know, so great and so wonderful, and oh, we're so above everybody, and that's what they broadcast and hear all the time, that they, you know, they're the new God and stuff. And I heard that, I'm like, what? You the new what? So why you need cameras then? Why you need listening devices? If you are God and you the new God, then you should need any kind of devices to do anything to anyone. You should be able to do that with your mind. You should be able to will somebody to be the way you want them to be. You shouldn't have to, use things and, buzz them and shoot them with things and put broadcasting devices in their home and put cameras and stuff in their home and broadcast night and day 24/7. You wouldn't need to do that if you were God, because that's how they talk. This is what they've been saying now for the past couple of days. So I said I'm going to make a short video and address that, and also address what they did when they placed one of their people at a place where I was going. And then this dude, he just thought he was like God's gift to women. He came walking out there like he was it. And I'm like, look at this fool. I was busy on my cell phone. That's what I was doing. I was on my cell phone. That's what I did. And you know who I'm talking to, okay? You know who you are. The one that was up there in Northeast. That's who I'm putting this out to. You ain't cute. Little rant. But that's what I wanted to say. And then when I went out the other day, I was like feeling so sick with them blasting me. They've been blasting me like non-stop every day, 24 hours a day. And must be, they probably turned it up, and whatever it is they're using to blast me, it must be stronger, because it made my whole body like I was weak. My legs were weak and my hands were shaking, my eyes were protruding, my back was hurting, my side was hurt. Everything on me didn't feel right, and it felt out of whack. But this is the life that you lead when you are a targeted individual. This is the things that these evil people do to you. And people need to wake up and to realize this, because it can happen to anyone. Like, they're blasting me right now. That's why I can't even sit still. I gotta sort of keep moving, because anytime I decide to make my videos, they blast me even more. And then this chair that I'm sitting on is it's a metal chair, and they say if you like if you have a bed and it has like metal and different things like that, or chairs or stuff with metal, that they can get to you better and they can blast you better, because the metal acts basically as a conductor. It conducts whatever it is that they're using to blast you with. It makes it, like even stronger and better. And like, my bed is like stainless steel. I have like a the mattress, and it's on top of like a stainless steel type, I think it's steel, type, it's not a, what do you call those things? I don't even know what the name of those things. It's not like a box spring, but it's just like a metal thing, and then you put your mattress on top of it. So you don't need a box spring, and you don't need the square thing that you would put the box spring into and then put your mattress on top. This thing is all in one. They got them all over the internet. They sell them at like Walmart and places like that. That's like the new thing. And I bought that with good faith, because at that time I hadn't read where they said that you shouldn't sleep on metal, and your chairs and stuff shouldn't have metal, because it just conducts whatever it is that they're using, like to electrocute you. It just conducts it through your bed. And if you're sitting on a chair that's with metal, then it conducts it that way too. And but that's about the gist of it. But what I had to do, and what I tried to do, is to put up some curtains in here. You probably can see them in the background. I put up some curtains, and I just sort of put it at the perimeter of my bed, and then in the ceiling I put up some of those car visors, and I tried to tape it up. And I don't know what kind of paint that they have on these walls and this ceiling, but it's like the tape and stuff. And I use tape from the post office. I bought it from the post office, so that's like supposed to be some good tape. And it just like, you have to put like 5-6 different pieces that you can get it to stay there. So I'm like, well, what kind of industrial kind of paint? This must be some kind of special paint that they put in here, because they don't want you to block them watching you and block them seeing what you're doing, because this is a part of the stalking, is that they watch you in your homes. Because what I wanted to say is, instead of them having a lab like they used to do when they wanted to experiment on people. They would bring you to a lab, you know, either willing or unwilling, and they would bring you to a lab and do stuff. Now they don't even have to do that. They do it right into your home. Your home is their lab, because they set up all the cameras and all the listening devices, and then they, you know, slowly try to do a slow kill and try to drive you out of your mind. This is what they do. So they bring the lab to you. You don't have to go to the lab. Your home is their lab, because they're sitting there at their computers and they're keying in things and they're watching you, and when they zap you, they're watching, you know, what happens to you, you know, the next day, like how do you feel. They watch how you walk, they watch your gait and stuff to see if, you know, because I mean, when I got up on Friday, I had an appointment on Friday, and I was like totally out of it. I almost fell into my bathtub. That's how much they zap me. They zap me just that much, you know, just zapping me all over the place. Like wherever it is I go, if I get on the trolley or anything now, that's the new thing they're doing, is they're zapping me on the trolley. So what they do is they probably got, you know, handheld devices, or maybe they do it through a cell phone, and they will zap you, and they will put several people on a trolley to you know, to zap you, and then put one where you think, okay, this is the guy, and then it might be somebody that's, you know, that's way behind you, because they can probably zap you from far away. But this is what they did. They zapped me when I was on the trolley, because I was riding, and you know, all of a sudden I could feel like the tingling and stuff, like it feels like a tingle feeling, like going through your body, like through my hands and my legs and different things. And I'm like, well, what in the world, you know, because like, what, they can zap you now when you out minding your own business? But this is what they've been doing to me. They've been picking it up top speed. Then after I made my way home, I was so sick and feeling so bad. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to make my way on home, because I really didn't really need anything out, you know, when I was out and about, because I had gotten stuff earlier in the week. And I felt so bad that even if I had needed to go and get something, I wouldn't have been able to go, because I felt just that bad. They had zapped me just that much. Then they put somebody on the trolley that zapped me while I was on the trolley. This is how sick these people are, and this is how much that they want to get to me. Then after I got home and I got into my house, immediately they started broadcasting, and they was like, welcome to the government. This is what they said in my home. Welcome to the government. I'm like, welcome to the government? What are you talking about? Welcome to what government? What kind of government does this to its own people? That's my question. And that's even if it is them, because you got all sorts of people out here that's playing like they this and they that. They may know 1 or 2 or 3 people, and then they try to put themselves, and then, because you figure if you got enough money, anybody can have this technology, anybody can buy what it is that they have and zap you, and then say, okay, I'm from this agency and I work from that agency. Or it could be them. Like I'm saying, it could be a governmental agency. And the only thing I'm saying is, Lord have mercy on you if it is a government agency, and if it is people in the government that are doing this to me or to anyone. Heaven helps you. That's it. Heaven helps you, because if you look throughout history, anytime you had any dynasties or anything, because back in those days they really didn't have what we know as today as a government. They more or less had like these dynasties and Roman empires and stuff. They all fell. Every last one of them. They all just like self-imploded and just you know, disintegrated. They all fell. Not one of them stayed up. Not even one of them. Okay? So that's all I'm saying. Like, okay, it'll be your own destruction. So if it is people in any kind of governmental agency that is being helped by corporations or whatever, ultimately you will fall. You will fall. It's as simple as that. You will definitely fall, because nowhere in history, nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in no history book or anything is there anything that stayed that tried to harm its own people. There was none. None. The Roman Empire, it fell because they turned on their own people and did a lot of heinous, hateful things to people, and they fell. So you think of every dynasty you can think of, every, you know, faction throughout history where hateful, wicked things were done to people, and every one of them fell. Not one of them stayed up, not even one. So that's my my little information that I wanted to put out into this this video, and you know, just to let people know what they do to you when you are a targeted individual, and how they intensify it. When they can't get you to do what they want you to do, then they start intensifying it and intensifying it and making it worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where most people give up. This is what they do, because this is what they ultimately want you to do. They ultimately want you to either commit suicide or to go out and go rampant and to hurt and harm other people that haven't done anything to you. Because the ones who are doing this, they are very well hidden, or at least they think that they are very well hidden, because they don't realize that the Almighty sees them and knows every single thing that they're doing. He knows every single one of them. He knows how they are connected, whom they are connected to. He knows every single thing that they're going to do at any moment or any time, even what they're going to do in the next hour. He already knows what they're going to do. And this is what every last one of these people miss. You know, they're always boasting and broadcasting in here, well, you can't touch us and you can't do this. Well, who's trying to touch you? You heard that buzz? That was my my dryer. But anyway, but that's my question. Like, who is trying to touch them? You know, I want them out of my life. That's what I want. I don't care anything about them. They, to me, are nothing. A roach or a slimy maggot has more use than they do, because what really use are they here? What is their purpose? They don't know what their purposes are. You know, they just broadcast in here and just say all kind of crazy stuff. That's their purpose. They really have absolutely no purpose, or they haven't figured out their purpose. So they're angry and full of rage, and then they all come together because they're like-minded people, and they come together to form these groups that do this kind of stuff, because you don't know really where the root of it comes from. You really don't know, because it's like all over the place. It's all over the place. And then they lie so much. You know, when they broadcast and stuff, they lie, and they try to lie and say who they are, where they're from, and this, that, and the other, and they're this, and they're this agency, and they're that agency, and one day they're this thing, and the next day they're another thing. I'm like, why can't they make up their mind? Why the devil can't they make up their mind on who they think they want to be? Because I guess when you are hidden and you are doing so much to a human being to destroy them, and you haven't destroyed them with all that you're doing, because they used to broadcast that all the time, how can you sleep? We can't believe that you can sleep with all that we're doing to you. This is what they used to broadcast in my home. This is what they used to say. How can you sleep? How can you do anything with everything that we're doing to you? So I'm like thinking, well, why don't you do that to your mother and watch her? Or why don't you do that to your father and watch him? That's my question. Or do it to your brothers and sisters and all your family members. Do that and then ask them how they feel. Okay, and they blasting me now as I'm making this video. They blasting me in my stomach, in my side. I can feel it. Like when I put my hands on my stomach, it feels as though like if you had something boiling inside of your body. That's how it feels. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like if you had a bottle of soda or something, and you shook it as violently as you could, and then it was in your stomach and you just let it go, and like all the bubbles and everything that would be coming up from, you know, the carbonation in the soda, that's what it feels like. You know, and these people do this, and they hit targeted individuals, and they disrupt our lives, destroy our lives, and do all sorts of things. So I said I would come over here and make this video, and I'm almost up to 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop it right here and say in closing that we all as humans need to pull closer to God, and you need to fear God. That's first and foremost, because a lot of people go to church and, you know, they're believers and stuff like that, but they don't fear God. They have absolutely no fear of God. And when I say fear, I mean a reverential fear. I don't mean that you're going to be, excuse me, something in my eye. It doesn't mean like you're going to be, you know, your teeth is chattering and stuff like that, and, you know, you're too afraid to even pray and ask for anything and, you know, ask God for help. But a reverential fear to know that there is a supreme being that stands over all of us, that stands over this entire universe. There is a supreme being that created all of us. We didn't just get here by some big bang. Okay, we did not come like that. We didn't get here from a big bang, because you do not get order from chaos. Okay, chaos cannot, never, and will never ever bring order. Okay, order can bring chaos, but chaos cannot bring order. So we didn't come through a big bang or none of those things. So don't believe any of that, because all of that is just hype, and that's all scientific. And you figure scientists, they have their place and they have to do what they do. Okay, and you know, some of them might be atheists and non-believers, and some of them could be believers, but as a scientist, they have to question everything. They're not going to just sit there and say, okay, well, we're going to tell you about the Bible. No, they're going to tell you about their scientific findings so that they can get funding and money and all kinds of stuff, and go and look at moons and look at this and look at that. So they serve a purpose. Okay, so that's what they do. Okay, but don't believe that hype. Just know that there's a supreme being, one creator. There's only one I am. There's not two or three or four or whatever. There is one great I am, and he created all of us and the whole universe and everything down here. The planets, the way they are, the way the earth that turns on its axis and everything, the degrees of everything, 360 degrees, and how it turns and stuff. God is the one that came up with that. No man did that. Okay, no man ever created any planet. Okay, because if they did, then why would you stop? Why don't you create one right now? Okay, because if scientists say we came from a big bang and all this stuff, then why don't they create another big bang and make another universe and another galaxy? Why don't they do that? You know why? Because they can't do it. They cannot do it. They don't have that kind of intelligence. Only the Almighty has that kind of intelligence. He is the only one that was intelligent enough to see far enough into the future to know how everything he wanted. He wanted it this way. He didn't want it that way. He wanted this like this. He didn't want it like that. You understand what I'm saying? So he is intelligent enough and omnipotent enough where he already knew from day one, when he created us and created man and created everything in the world, that he wanted it a certain way. He wanted it this way. He didn't want it another way. Okay, so my question is, where are the scientists that are going to form this big bang and make another galaxy? Why don't they do it? What are they waiting for? What's the holdup? You're not getting enough funding? That's my question. You know, the ones that believe in the big bang and say all of these, you know, ridiculous things, and they found this and they found that and blah 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 and yada yada yada. It's like, you know, it's just folly. It's just ridiculous. Just then make one. Okay, if you are so powerful and you feel as though you know how the universe was formed, then make one. Make another one. Make one. That's what I say. Make another universe. Make another sun. Put another sun up in the air and show it to us and say, look, we as scientists, we are so intelligent that, look, we made a sun. There is our sun. Where is it? It don't exist and never will, because none of them, no human can do that. It took a creator to do that. Just like if I'm on my computer right now, this computer didn't just come together from chaos. It wasn't just a bunch of pieces laying around somewhere and then something happened that made it come together and form it into a computer where I can make a video and you can see me on this video, and I can be on the internet and you can see me. It didn't just come from chaos. Okay, some human had to sit down first. They had to think about it, and the thought had to be in their mind, and they had to have a thought that brought them to that idea that, okay, we can try this, we can do this. You know, I can do this, and, you know, I can do this, and I can put this together this way, and let's see what happens. We can make it do this, or we can make it do that. Okay, it started with a thought, and then the thought turned into an idea that turned into whatever it is you have. Look at something like this. This is my mirror right here that I have. Somebody had to make this, okay? Somebody made this. This didn't just come from nowhere. It wasn't a big bang that made this mirror. A human, somebody thought of a mirror. And even though mirrors were made, like, you know, maybe more than hundreds of years ago, somebody had somewhere along the line had to think about it, okay? Because cavemen, when they was down here, they ain't had no mirrors. They had a lot of stuff, but they ain't had no mirror. They ain't had no car. What caveman you know had a car? In what cave is there a painting of a car? None. Okay, so some human had to have a thought that, you know, and it became an idea. Then they moved on that idea and made that thing. Well, it's the same thing. God is so intelligent that he created everything. I mean, just look outside, look around you. Don't even look into your home, because all of this stuff is man-made. You think of it in these terms. He gave that person a brain that could work and churn and come up with the idea to make something as simple like you pick up a mirror and it's nothing to you. But at one time, there was no such thing as a mirror. You come into your house and you flip a switch. I'm going to turn this off. And it's dark. You flip a switch and there's a light, and you don't even think about that. But a human had to make that light. Somebody had to invent a light. Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Our Creator created all of us and everything down here. Every single thing that's down here was created by our Creator. So give him some accolades, because we give all kind of accolades to people. They, you know, they come up with an invention, you know, and, you know, something and whatever, and the next thing you know, they, you know, applauding them, and, you know, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that, but I'm just saying they get applause. But God, who is the creator of everything, how much applause does he get? That's what I'm saying. Think about that. That's, you know, what I want people to think about when you see this part of the video. Just think about the applause. Look outside, because there are just so many things in the world that we don't know of. You know, so many species of birds, like hundreds of thousands of species of birds. Did you know there was like, what, maybe 100 different types of rice? Most people, when they think of rice, they just think of brown rice or white rice or jasmine rice or whatever. There's like over like 100 different types of rice and different colors of rice. And they come out of the ground like that. They come out of the ground brown or yellow or whatever. It's like different colors, red rice, all kinds of stuff. And I looked that up on the internet, because I was like, you know, thinking, you know, when you hear people and they're talking about Big Bang and this, that, and the other, and we evolved from apes and all kind of stuff. Well, maybe you evolved from an ape. I didn't evolve from no doggone ape. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe you and your family came from them, but I didn't. But just take a look around you. The next time when you go outside, look at a tree. No human being can make a tree. You can plant a seed and the seed will make a tree, but can you put a human being with nothing, with absolutely nothing, and let them just come up with a seed that can make a tree that can grow, like, I mean, way up, you know, like, I mean, dozens of feet, hundreds of feet into the air from one teeny tiny little seed. So we have to give accolades to our Creator, and we have to do that and know that and do it often. And when you think and you see stuff and you feel as though you walking outside and you stepping on grass, well, he created that grass. That grass that your foot is stepping on, he created that. So give him applause and give him accolades, because anything we can do, it's because he gave us a brain and a mind to be able to do that. So in closing, I'd like to say, keep God first in your life, fear God, and give him applause. You know, like Lady Gaga singing in her song, I never really heard the whole song, but I heard a part of it where she say, applause, applause. Okay, that's for the Creator. That's for him. He gets all the applause, because without him, we would not even be able to take our next breath. Okay, he blows breath in us. Okay, whether you want to believe that or not, you wouldn't be able to take your next breath if our Creator wasn't overseeing the fact that you were taking your next breath. Okay, so in closing, peace and love to my family, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel and tell your family and friends about my channel, and tell them to come and be a part of the family, because once you subscribe to me, I feel as though you are my friend and you are my family. Okay, peace and love, and I'm out.